Well, we can have a chat now to one of the men who was instrumental in Exeter's win over Leicester. And in the run of form, that means they sit at the top of the Premiership table at Christmas time. Jonny Hill joins us. How are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, mate. How's it going?
We're very good, mate. Christmas on the horizon, and we're worried for Goodey. Anyway, mate, let's get into a bit of ruggers because you boys are flying top of the Prem, virtually through now the quarterfinals of the Champions Cup. So Christmas is going to be good for all you Exeter boys. How you all feeling? Happy, obviously?
Yeah, we've just finished day's training now. The vibe's pretty good in the camp. Obviously, we went through, done those 4 games of Europe, and they've gone pretty well for us and whatever. But the game at the weekend was a massive test for us. We made 8 changes and kind of, if I'm honest, we trained like a sack of shit last week.
Nice, honest.
But we kind of got together Saturday, which is the most important day of the week, and we put it out there. And to be fair to Leicester, I thought they played really well first half. Powerful game, George Ford kicking corners, all sorts, and we kind of regrouped at half time and got away from them, which was brilliant, really. Yeah.
And watching the game on BT Sport, Leicester they started pretty ferociously, and you soaked up a fair bit of pressure in that first half. What was actually said at half time, because it was a remarkable difference in the second half. It looked like you'd soaked up all their punches, and then second half you just blitzed them.
Yeah, well, I kind of we set a point at half time about, like, every time they get a set piece start point, a line out attack, they were just running around like it was a training session for them, like exactly what George Ford and Ben Youngs want. And we just thought we just control what we can in terms of our skill sets and not give them the put-ins at the scrums and the put-ins at the line-outs, and kind of controlled it with our own way. And we went from there, really, and just kept on top of them in the second half, and it paid off. And I felt as if the game went even longer, we would have won by even more, you know what I mean? So it was a good feeling. It was a good feeling to have that. And some of the D sets at the end there, we're just driving them back and back and back. It's kind of, Rob Baxter was pretty chuffed with that, I think.
Yeah, he seemed it on TV. Last thing I'll ask you about the game then, your try got the bonus point, your 5th try of the year, you're in pretty good form, but how scary was it when Stuart Townsend flew in and looked at you so closely? Did you think he was going to kiss you? And how ugly is he with his tash and his hairdo? What's going on there?
He's all right, mate.
His breath is worse than all that.
Mate, hey, don't worry, I've got beef all yellow teeth, mate. Some guy told me on the tube.
Was he going to go in for the kiss, or was it that awkward moment when you're just looking at each other really closely and you're thinking your breath stinks, mate?
Yeah, I kind of blacked out from 5 meters out, and then I kind of woke up and he's right there, and I was like, wow.
But your form's pretty good, isn't it? Have you had any indication of any involvement with England again? I know you went on the tour to South Africa a couple of years ago. Any chat from Eddie Jones at all?
No, nothing, mate. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah, likewise. He hasn't called me either. I can't believe it.
Slight contract. I mean, you know, what is the crack with that? We'll go back and talk about the fight. You know, the tries that you're scoring, because generally when I was in them positions, I was getting screamed at to get out the way. So you're in them positions, and I see you picking and going. And for a tall lad like my good self, probably slightly more athletic, are you not worried when you get into them positions that you're going to get absolutely penknifed or not?
Yeah, I am, to be fair. But again, it's kind of we've got a bit of a system in there, and obviously I don't really want to tell the world what it is and whatnot. But like, we get in there, and the lads, we're all energized to get in there and try and score tries and work together. So it's great fun doing it, and a lot of teams don't enjoy defending it either. So it's great fun. Like, we're spreading the tries out. I think the forwards have scored a lot more tries than the backs this year, which is great to see. We've spent all that money on Stuart Hogg, and he hasn't done much yet.
No, he hasn't, mate. No, mate. He's getting talked up a storm on TV every single week. I don't see him do anything, mate.
He's played pretty well. He's got shocking hair. His hair hasn't taken. But let's talk about the group then. Obviously, it's a very tight group down at Exeter. We've spoken to a few of the guys over time on the podcast, and hear different stories about the naked bus, the initiations. But what does a Christmas week look like for you guys in terms of this weekend's game? It's a massive game coming up against Saracens, but have you done a Secret Santa? You've obviously got Christmas Day off. Is Rob Baxter giving you any more days off, or is it just train?
It's obviously a bit different this week. We've had a longer day today, and then we've got a couple of days off in the middle of the week there. But we got all the Secret Santa business out of the way. last week, and kind of because we're so short for time this week, get all that done last week, and then we can solely focus on Sarries for this weekend. But Secret Santa was good last week.
Hit us, come on.
Knocking about. Should I just say there was some live game there?
There was some live game, of course.
Oh wow!
Yeah, no, that's right. You're from farming stock, if you like,
that's right.
down there. So, anything else? Anything that wasn't moving or breathing that was quite funny?
No,
of course not. No,
I don't believe that.
Christmas jumpers, you know the drill.
Yeah. Mate, we need to touch on it, and we're not going to open you up on it because it has been a controversial subject. Me and Goodey have spoken a lot about it, about the whole Saracens thing. But I mean, naturally, it's always going to be a big game. This time of year is always a tough time, as well as professional sportsmen around Christmas. And there was a lot of comments from Rob Baxter, especially around Tony Rowe as well, about the kind of breaches and Nigel Ray not being welcome. I don't expect you to talk about that. But, is there an added edge in terms of the club playing Saracens? Because of the things that have happened, I think naturally, but because of things that have happened. I'm not expecting you to kind of open up on them, but yeah.
I just speak from a personal point of view, and the finals that I've played against Saracens, I've never walked off the pitch saying, "Oh, I'm gutted," but they cheated. Like that doesn't make any difference to me. Personally, I play against any 15, and I don't care. Like I would have backed us to win and whatever. So like we I don't know. We pretty much won it last year, albeit one or two different moments that we threw it away. So it's just going to be a nice opportunity for those guys to come down to us and enjoy a game at Sandy Park, and we'll hopefully put them away.
And then in terms of the culture, like at Exeter, a lot of people have spoken about. We've had Stuart Hogg, who's obviously come into that environment. We've had a few of your lads on before, Nick White, Don Almond as well. As a young lad in the forwards, in the mixer at the kind of coalface, what's the culture like down there?
Yeah, it's brilliant. I think I personally think that Exeter is different because like Exeter's in the sticks, and whereas if you play for a London club, everyone's spread around, and we all live within about 2 or 3 miles of each other. So, and there's a lot of boys between 23 and 27 who are like, I'd say there's probably 25 to 30 lads of that age group, and we all hang out together. And because we live in Exeter and not London, there's only like 3 coffee shops here, so we always find each other in, So like, whereas London's way more going on, these bigger places. So yeah, it's a great place to be, and the boys care for each other. And I mean, last week we went over to Sam Hill's parents cooked us a Christmas dinner, and there's 15 of the boys there, and we just had a massive feed up there. It was brilliant. I don't think that would really happen at too many other clubs, to be honest, Yeah,
no, I can't think of it. We didn't mention Steno as well. He's got a bar down that neck of the woods as well, which we're yet to go to. We nearly went, actually.
Yeah, we did. Is Steno generous? Does he give the boys free beers, free Guinness, free anything they want down there, or is he tight?
Yeah, pretty good, to be fair. A few discount cards going around, and I'm actually currently involved with a cider for the Wooden Spoon charity called Rib Tickler.
Oh, nice.
With a few of the lads, and we're trying to sell a bit of that going around. It's get your hands on some of that, boys. I'll send some up, and you can try it and do what you want with it.
Man, definitely. Yeah. What's it called again? Where can we find it? The millions of listeners. I mean, it's going out tomorrow, Christmas Eve, so we might even get 50 million people listening. So for the people that are wondering, where can you find the cider?
It's called Rib Tickler Cider, made by Sanford Orchards. If you kind of Google it, sanfordorchards.co.uk, you'll find it on there. And we've got our own Instagram account as well. So Rib Tickler Cider.
Mate, I'll find that, mate. I've googled rib ticklers before, mate. I'll be honest, but I've not put cider on the end, so I'm gonna find it.
I'm down with BT Sport on Sunday, so I'm going to try and find myself a pint of Rib Tickler cider and 3 Guinness. Yeah. Good stuff, mate. Last thing I'm going to ask you: the forwards all used to bake for each other, didn't they? Cookies and cakes, and that's my sort of genre. Cookies and cakes. Is that still going on? Is there a cookie club that I can come and be an honorary member of, or is that all sort of gone by the wayside now?
I think it still goes on, but ever since Tom Waldron left, it's kind of like it's gone down a little bit. But I think there's a few lads still trying to keep it going. Dave Ewers, Tom Francis, Ollie Devoto, smashing it in. To be fair, I think.
Yeah, definitely. And the opposite of Thomas Francis and Thomas Waldron, people like that, the best looking guy down at Exeter is a young man called Henry Slade. He is absolutely... Yeah, come on, he is though, isn't he? He's killing it on and off the field at the minute. How is he? And how beautiful is he when you see him in the showers?
He's got a hairy ass.
Oh, has he? Oh, he ruined it.
You can see that. You can see that might be the case, but you're never going to... Well, you might see
a hairy ass. And his nickname's the Pip, isn't it? From what we hear.
No, his nickname's Death Breath.
Death Breath. Oh, you've just killed
mate. I tell you what. Hey, you know how to bring a man. That's what they're doing, Exeter. Mate, you say how it is.
Say
it's
humble.
Not all the glitz and glam, is it, Johnny? Mate, you know the crack. I absolutely love that. So it's not all glory for the lad.
Keep this man humble. He stinks, man.
Right, Johnny, thank you very much for coming on the show. Best of luck with the Rib Tickler Cider and also against Saracens at Sandy Park, mate.
Perfect. Have a good Christmas, gents. Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks. Come on, mate. Merry Christmas, buddy.
See you Sunday. Merry Christmas.